Hi everyone, Paul Bailey here from the myGlidingClub. I'm going to give you a quick brief overview on myGlidingClub and how it can benefit your club, especially with regards to the RASA ATO requirements in terms of documentation, training files and so forth. Probably the biggest challenge for us in the instructional side of club operations is the management of the training files. And myGlidingClub implements the training files in an electronic format, and the attempt there is made to make the record keeping much easier, and it's all centrally placed within the system. So fields that can be captured, basically the standard stuff: date of exercise, your instructor, who was the instructor involved, briefing and flying time. You can capture these totals, and you'll see there at the bottom here, it basically totals up your, as you progress with your exercise, it totals up, and you can also select which exercises you've done. So here in this area here, for example, on this item, we've done 2, 4, 6 exercises. Status. Basically, once a student has captured his information, he can say that the exercise is completed. He'll mark it as such, and then it'll tag it for the instructor to go in and have a look and see whether he's happy with the content, and he can decide whether the student is proficient or not based on the progress. Once he's marked it as such, then you will see that these items over here and over here are locked by the instructor, so it cannot be changed again. So it's got a good audit trail involved set up there. And then lastly, once a student has said that he's completed his exercise here, a notification can get sent via email to the instructor to tell him that he can actually go and have a look and check that things are okay, and he can sign it off. Type of information that can be captured is all the standard stuff that are in the training files on the standard sheets: member details, descriptions, who the instructor was. You can allocate the aircraft, briefing time. The student, you can make notes there in conjunction with the instructor, and it's quite easy to capture the data. If you click here, you can actually have a full reference of all the training procedures, exercises as given to us in terms of the ATO. In case you're stuck at any point in myGlidingClub, there's normally a help button like this, and you just click on it and it'll give you a detailed breakdown of how to actually complete the form or complete or capture the data. Easily select multiple exercises by just clicking on the mouse there, and you can just select which ones you want over there, and it'll add it to this particular entry. On the instructor side, you can attach supporting documents. So for example, if a student had to write a written test or something for that exercise, he can actually attach it here. It's quite easy to upload, standard upload techniques with using browsers. Here you can see the instructor's got his own section here where he can say whether the student is proficient or not, and he can actually make notes here, which basically would give an audit trail for the next instructor, because all instructors have got access to this. And just a point here, these notes are visible only to other instructors. They're not visible to any students or anybody else. The next aspect is a members red tag system. This is essentially comes from the power flying side, and the whole idea behind this is the CFI or folk that are involved with this can issue safety notices, and the students then get a red tag which they need to convert to a green tag, normally on a notice board. So we've implemented an electronic red tag system. It comes down to the same thing. So when a member logs in, he will actually get his red tag notice here. You can see it's nice and bright and easy to read. It's basically an automatic notification. It will pick up if there are any red tag items. For example, in this particular one, there's one red tag item over here. It also reminds me that my next duty is in 3 days' time, and also my instructor's renewal is in 3 days' time. So it's multifunctional. It reminds me of various notifications. The red tag can be published between certain dates and will only be active during those dates. And the content is a normal word processor type content, so you can copy and paste from Word and articles and what have you. This is where the member acknowledges that he's read the red tag. Over here you can see there's a red one and there's a green one. The green one means that I have acknowledged that. The red one means I have not acknowledged it yet. And these notifications are also sent via email. Of interest to the instructors and particularly the CFI is comprehensive statistics or stats that can be pulled out of the system. This one is a typical one of various exercises that various members have done over here, and you can represent it so it's quite easily visible in terms of data. So here we can see, for example, Ivan's done a considerable amount of flight training time over here, flight training time, whereas the ground briefing time is a smaller portion. And this can be, the stats can be pulled per instructor, per student, depends on how you want the report to be. The CFI also has a lot of information that he can pull from the system, and a lot of these are actually taken from the flight or the timesheets. If your club is going to use the timesheets, a lot of information can be pulled from that. This is a report that we pulled from our club for 3 months of last year, and it's quite interesting to see the stats that can come from it. For example, in 3 months, 255 hours were flown. Tug was 34 hours. We flew 22 hours of PAXs, or training introductory flights. Here you can see this particular glider, Golf Uniform November, flew 30 hours. So we can actually break down any bit of information. Also of interest to the CFI is overdue ATFs, typically with gliders. Here you can see all our gliders here. A lot of them haven't been updated because we're still getting into the new system. But it's quite easy to see that there's a lot of aircraft here that are overdue at the moment. You can see the detail that gets presented, and dates are given, so it's quite easy to see which aircraft are overdue. Obviously, any report or any bit of data that you see in the admin system, you can actually export into Excel, so it's quite easy to export it. And then obviously here's club statistics. Currency management, I think that's a big challenge for CFIs, is to just ensure that at least their members attempt to adhere to their currency. It's a real trust basis, but at least the system enables one to send friendly reminders to folk that might have forgotten to renew their medical or do their annual check and do their instructional renewals. So this one can give you a list of overdue licenses. For example, here you can see this is demo data, but here you can see Eleni's overdue on a lot of aspects, whereas Bruce here is just overdue on their medical renewal. So these are the details that can be seen. And you can also pull a report that says, okay, give me the list that's due in 60 days time. And then what it does is the system will automatically send a convenient email reminder, 2 months before or a month before. And they can just click here, and it'll basically, they can log into their own member account and just update their details once they have done their renewal. myGlidingClub is comprehensive document management facilities available, and you can actually attach any document to your different categories that are available. Also, there's full member download facilities available, so this here can appear when the member logs in, so you can actually make documents available. So in our club we've got a whole lot of documents and old archives and newsletters and that members can just log in and download at their convenience. You can also allocate documents to various categories, for example against aircraft, club documentation, maintenance, training. Asset registers, myGlidingClub can keep track of all your bulk assets in your club. It's quite easy to just capture that, and general documents. In terms of the detail, when you create a new document you want to upload, you can give it a nice description. Here, this particular one, Nico did his domain conversion technical exam, and he uploaded his technical test here, and the member was Nico, and you can also attach it to aircraft, and then it basically stored in the cloud, and he can get access to it any time. You can also allocate multiple documents. So let's say you've got a group of tests for one particular aspect of a training that you did. You can attach quite a number of documents. And then, as I mentioned there, you've got various download facilities available for the members. Obviously, with any system, member detail is quite important, and myGlidingClub is fairly comprehensive in this regard because everything centers around the member. So there are numerous fields available for capture. For example, standard member login details, and each member will get their username and login, and they can obviously then log in to their own account. For new members, it's quite easy. They just click on here when they're in the front page, and then it'll create a member's online registration. So the club members or CFIs don't even need to do any manual work. They just point the new member to this link, and the new member fills it in. Quite handy for myGlidingClub is the mailing list facilities. So you can assign different mailing lists to various members. So if I'm an instructor, for example, they'll select the instructor's item here. So then whenever an email is sent to the instructor's mailing list, then I will receive it. So it's very handy in terms of the mailing. It's got a comprehensive mailing facility available. Renewal dates. This helps the CFI, and these are all the possible renewal dates that typically we are involved with gliding, whether it be TMG renewals, GPLs, even your PPLs for tug pilots, approved person renewals, medicals, what have you. Even your Soaring Society renewal due. You can actually put that in the annual subs. For the CFI, we can put in pilot license information, flying hours, and instructors' ratings, aircraft ratings, and what have you. It's quite handy. Club accounts. There's basic support for club accounts. So this is coupled to your flying times. You can attach proof of payments. You can attach deposits and that. So those clubs that possibly don't have any financial system or use spreadsheets, then you can use this as well. It's quite handy to have, and it does basic accounting functions. It's not detailed, but it's enough to let you run your club quite efficiently. Also, with typically categories and account codes, if you put these the same as your pastel, then you can always transfer this data automatically to pastel as well and do your recons that way. Various fields to capture, standard accounting fields where it's description, entry types, debit, credit, charges, in terms of account codes, dates, whether the item's being closed off and processed or not. And you can also attach documents or receipts to this particular entry. So, for example, if I've done a direct deposit here, then I can attach my petrol slip, or I can attach a deposit slip, or any type of documentation. So it's quite easy to do. Timesheets. myGlidingClub's got comprehensive timesheet facilities. And in the Cape Gliding Club, we're using this exclusively now since September last year. So we are capturing all our times in here, and it gives us fantastic data that we can pull over the last year. So it's got full support for your timesheets, and I'm sure that our club is similar to everyone else in terms of timesheet capturing. We can easily add a new flight entry by just pressing that button, and it'll open up a flight entry form, whether it's on a tablet or an iPhone or on the website. You can easily capture your data. You can also associate flights with days like on a weekend, for example. So all of these over here are essentially on that Friday, the 18th of April. The data is obviously comprehensive, so hopefully we've catered for every scenario, and you can capture a myriad of information. So typically, here's your flight details with your aircraft allocations, what type of flights it is, and obviously when you select these, you can pull very, very nice reports. So you can say which were instructional flights, if you had an intra flight or a visitor, what type of launches it was. Pilot information goes to reason. Flight times, you can actually enter the flight times, and if you're using this live on the flight line on the particular day, so members can actually enter their gliders in the morning, like the authorization sheet, and then when they take off, the system will tell them that they're in the air, or they've landed, or they're on the flight line. So there's a fairly good safety aspect there as well. It also has support for TMGs. Obviously, TMGs work largely with hobs, and if you've selected your TMG as the aircraft over here, then basically it will take the hobs times to work out your times. Visitor information can be captured, and then obviously admin details. You can say who the flight must be charged to, and this will go directly through to your accounts. And lastly, mobile app. There's a full mobile app support. So a lot of the members' account details or members' profile details and the info pertinent to member can be viewed on your mobile app. And it works on all mobiles, whether it's an iPhone or an Android or tablet. And the address is mobi.myglidingclub.co.za, and if you log in, you will basically be presented with your menu where you can actually view your flights and bookings and read tags, and you can even capture flight times from here, which is your member info. And there's typically it can give you a history or summary of the last 12 months of your flight times that you've been flying, sorry, let me go back to that. Whether you've a tug pilot, whether you fly P1, P2, instructional flying. And then obviously you can check your read tags on your mobile as well. So that's also quite handy. And that's about it. I'm really happy to help any clubs who'd like to get up and running. You can just give me a contact at info@myglidingclub.co.za, or phone me or call me. And we can easily import your membership list, so you don't have to recapture your members' info. And also, if there are any aspects of My Gliding Club that are not in the system for your particular club, then just chat to me and we can always add it in. It's really not a problem to add it in. Thanks for your time. Cheers.